Let's make a moving fish. It moves just like it's swimming in the water. For this project, we'll need the construction paper that's folded into a large triangle, along with these shapes in a different color. Your paper may be a different color from mine. Scissors, a glue stick, and a black felt tip marker. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the paper clip holding all the paper together. Okay, we'll just set aside the shapes for now. Okay, we'll take this large piece of paper. You'll notice that there's already a fold down the middle of the paper along the diagonal. Now, my paper is already folded, but you will need to add these extra folds. Okay, you line up the bottom edge up to the middle crease. Make it nice and crisp, and do the same with the top. Line up the top edge down to the same crease in the middle. Fold it down and make it nice and crisp. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some vertical cuts that kind of go in this direction like this. Okay? We're going to be making the cuts going from the crease in the middle up to that crease that you see going through the middle of the triangle. Okay, we're going to stop here at that point so we don't end up cutting a piece of the paper off. Now this is in fast forward right now, but you're going to want to do this carefully and slowly. We're making vertical cuts going from the center crease of the paper to the extra folds that you just made. Make sure you cut all the way up to that line. Okay, here we're almost at the end. We're going to put in just one more cut to make sure that we don't cut off the mouth of the fish. Okay, so we're going to cut from the center fold all the way up to the line, but not at the end. We're going to stop right at that point. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a kind of a tube out of this by gluing these two sides. So let's get our glue stick. I'm going to put glue in this section. And get a little more glue here to cover it all up. And we're going to glue these two sections together like this. Do your best to line them up. It'll help if you just kind of put your hand into that triangular tube and press it against your table surface. Make sure that the two sides glue really well together. All right, let's set this aside and let it dry. In the meantime, we'll get our shapes in a different color. I'm gonna cut them out. Again, this is in fast forward here while I'm cutting. But when you're doing this at home on your own, make sure you take the time to cut carefully on the line. Now that we have our shapes cut out, we're ready to glue our tail and fin of the fish. I'm going to flip these shapes over so you won't end up seeing those black marker lines. Okay, we're going to get some glue on this skinny tip of our triangular tube. That's where the tail is going to go. So get some glue on there. And we're just going to place this tip right onto our tail piece, which is shaped like a heart. Okay, hold it down for a moment to let it dry. And then we'll take our two fin pieces and see where we would like to position them. Once you found a good position for these two fins, we'll be ready to glue them down. And get some glue on the tip of this fin. And glue them to the bottom of our fish. Now to make sure everything glues well together, you can put your hand into the tube and just press those two pieces together. Okay, we give it a moment to glue well, and then we'll glue our next fin. Again, put some glue on the tip. Slip it into this bottom part of our fish and press it together from inside the fish. Okay, now that it's all glued well, our next step is to trim this top part of the mouth so it's not so pointy. Let's make it nice and round. We'll hold it in one hand and take our scissors in the other hand and cut a curve. Okay, we'll take away that sharp point. Next, our fish doesn't have much of a mouth on the bottom, so we're going to add one. Take your scrap piece of paper that matches the color of your fish, and we're going to take our black marker going to draw a curve. It's okay if yours is not perfect. From the top edge to the bottom edge. And then we're going to draw some diagonal lines going from the ends of the curve to this side of the scrap. And we're going to cut it out. Okay, our bottom piece of the mouth is going to fit right there, and we're going to glue it in. And get some glue stick, and just put some glue on the side where we had our diagonals. We're going to attach the side that has the glue to the bottom part of our fish, right where the bottom part of the mouth is supposed to be. Again, you can press it down to your table surface to help it glue together properly. And there's our fishy mouth. Now the very last step is to put some eyes on our fish. So for that, we'll need our scrap of white paper. We're going to take our black felt tip marker, draw 2 circles for the eyes. Draw in our eyeballs too. Now let's cut these out and glue them onto the head of our fish. There's one eye. And here's our other eye. Going to put glue on the back. You can position the eyes on the fish anywhere you like. You might want to play around to see what positions you like. Once we have our second eye glued on, then we are done with our moving fish. If you cut your vertical lines really well all the way to that crease we made, then it'll move just like this, just like the fish is swimming through the water.